Breaking news this Thursday night, the coronavirus now declared a global health emergency.
About how they're building hospitals in a matter of
China
days.
is urging its citizens not to travel abroad as it struggles to contain the virus that has now killed more than 100.
The minister has spent the night in hospital 10 days after being diagnosed with coronavirus.
Coronavirus takes its toll on tourism. British businesses should be basking in the Easter holiday spend. Instead, they're facing a summer of losses of up to £11 billion.
Italy in crisis. The number of dead surging by 793. A total of 4,825 dead, making this the deadliest day so far.
In a country in lockdown, the dead are buried without relatives to mourn them. In a cemetery in Barcelona, just a solitary priest is present to pay last respects. Hospital patients lie on the floor because there are no beds left.
Well, let's go over now to the XL Convention Centre in East London because the new NHS Nightingale Hospital is being officially open.
It's generally believed that with the coronavirus, the worst is yet to come. Some predictions by global experts say the virus will likely end up infecting most people in the world.
ITV News has learned tonight that the government is planning a virtual wartime footing in an effort to try and stop the spread of the deadly coronavirus.
We will be with our friends again. We will be with our families again. We will meet again.
So I remember back in, I think it was end of January 2020, that I first heard on the news about some flu-like virus in China. Didn't really take much notice on the news, just heard bits and pieces about it and that more and more people were suffering with it. Eventually in, I think it was February, it was becoming more and more on the news about this flu-type virus called COVID-19. Didn't really know much about Wuhan, but after hearing more and more stories come out, that it was a village in China that had a wet market where there was dogs, cats, bats that were eaten, and this virus had stemmed from there. It was probably towards the end of February that we had, I think, more news on it in this country, that Italy had now become one of the fastest virus places in the world, where it was just overrun with the virus. But even then, still didn't really think that we would be in any kind of danger. And then discovered, I think it was March time, that people in this country had started to come down with this virus called COVID-19. And then it was then that maybe I started to take a bit more notice of, well, hang on a minute, this is sort of spreading around the world. Is this going to become something that we should all worry about? And then we were basically told that we needed to stay in our homes, not to go out unless it's for one form of exercise a day, which at first you did, but I think as time went on it became more and more serious, and you realised that you did have to keep your distance from people, because it's a virus that could kill you if you caught it.
So I just wanted to ask you a few questions.
Okay.
So like, how is this, like, the coronavirus, like, affecting you?
I'm not finding it too bad, and still go out for my daily walk and my bit of shopping. And I'm doing some craft work.
Have you been given, like, any support, like, being that, like, Grandad's vulnerable?
No, we got a letter today through the post. It's from the Prime Minister telling us the do's and don'ts.
Yeah.
But no, we haven't had any support. We rely on our family a lot and each other.
Would you like any more support? Like, what would you want?
No, I think we're coping fine.
Do you think it's, like, set up? Like, what do you think about the whole thing?
it's frightening. Can't see an end coming. I don't think people are listening.
Yeah, not enough people are taking it seriously.
Yeah.
They think it's some sort of bad flu, but it's not really, is it?
What would you say to those people who don't listen to the government's advice and are still going out?
I'd say you need to listen, because if you don't, this is going to go on for a lot longer and there'll be more deaths. That's what I'd say.
London at lunchtime today, like no one has seen it perhaps since the 1950s. Landmark streets almost empty of people and traffic, and if there's no one there, businesses are in deep trouble, which is why the PM came out this afternoon to say,
we must act like any wartime government and do whatever it takes to support our economy.
How are you?
Very well. How are you?
I'm good, good. So I just wanted to ask you a few questions.
Okay.
So firstly, what do you think about the coronavirus? Like, what is your opinion on what's going on right now?
Okay, so my opinion is that yes, I think things are moving in the right direction, but I think that we may be being a little lied to by the government about lifting things quicker than they should be. I don't think it's right. I don't feel safe to walk out and carry on my normal life as it was. And I think the government are doing things to suit themselves rather than to protect the people.
Okay, so like now obviously you're an estate agent, so you know at this time business is probably difficult because people obviously aren't going to want to go and buy houses right now. So how has it actually affected the business or the trade, I guess, of being an estate agent?
It continues. People are still looking to move, to buy, to rent, but it's very slow. And as an agent, we are governed by restrictions, so we can't do business as we usually would. And there is a risk that our agency may not open its doors once this is all over, because this has had a massive effect on estate agency, because people losing jobs, people stay where they live at the moment, can't afford to rent anywhere else, can't afford to sell, can't afford to buy. So yes, it's slow, but we're ticking along.
The greatest risk of global catastrophe doesn't look like this. Instead, it looks like this. We're not ready for the next epidemic.
Over Easter weekend, arsonists set fire to dozens of 5G cell towers in the UK.
It took 83 days to reach the first million cases of COVID-19 to be reported worldwide.
The country does not have control of the pandemic.
A new rumour is going around that celebrities are being paid to say they've tested positive for coronavirus.
A U.S. Army reservist has had her life turned upside down by a conspiracy theory that falsely claims she is coronavirus patient 0.
How are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
Good, good. So I just wanted to ask you a few questions. First of all, what is your opinion on the whole situation right now?
I think it's scary times. I think there's a lot going on we don't know about. Yeah, and I think it's going to be something that's going to change people's lives, even when it's over.
Do you believe in like any theories? Because I know that you like conspiracy theories, like, and this is a time where there's just so many theories about everything. Is there any that you think are true or interested in?
Yeah, obviously there's some out there that are a bit over the top. But yeah, to a degree, I believe there are conspiracies to it. I'm not saying that none of it's true.
Yeah.
I believe it is all true that's going on. But I believe there could be a bit of truth in there that there's a conspiracy out there that it's a virus that got released on purpose. I believe that could be true. All to do with the economy and financial stuff. And I believe that it's something that, because obviously when stuff like this happens, governments bring in new laws to control people more. So there could be that side of it.
So is there any like specific conspiracy theories that you want to touch on, like if you heard of David Icke or something like that?
Yeah, I mean, David Icke is, some of his stuff's interesting, but some of it's a little bit far-fetched. I think it's interesting that recently he's been covering the COVID-19 topic, and some of the stuff he's been talking about now, all of a sudden all his sites have been shut down.
David Icke's YouTube channel has been deleted. He's been completely deplatformed from the second largest search engine in the world.
So that's a little bit suspicious, but some of his theories are a bit out there.
I really don't know what will happen in the future. The only hope is that they will find a vaccination for this pandemic and this virus, and that we can all get through it somehow in isolation or a vaccination. It will just depend on how long this vaccination takes.